Welcome to Talks to the People. How's it going? How you fellas doing today?
Doing great. How are you doing today?
Man, I'm fantastic.
All right.
He would be.
Hey,
His team won.
All right, everybody.
War
This
Eagle.
uh, that was that was
Well,
that was a hell of a beating that I was not expecting.
you know, I want to savor this conversation. We're going to put a pin in it and we're going to move it to later.
All
So I've
right.
got some stories to tell you.
All right. Before we get started with that, everybody, in case you are new here, this is Talks for the People. We do have an episode 0 up on the YouTube channel. If you want to check it out, would be glad for you to go check that out. Get you another little taste of what's going to be coming in the future with this. In case you missed that one, I'm Alan, as you can see, and we have Cody and Steven here with us. Tonight we are going to go ahead and check out a story that Cody has prepared and let us know about. He hasn't told us all the details yet, so we're eagerly awaiting this story. Let's see what we got going on here.
All right, everybody. Look, everybody's got stuff in their past that they're not proud of, right? So I want to back everybody up to high school and middle school, and for me, elementary school. And I I always thought I was a good kid, but I found myself in trouble a lot. And some of it was my fault, some of it's not my fault. So we'll just go into some of it. I can't remember every single paddling I got. I do know that I did have a paddling every grade until sixth grade. So I don't know how you get one in kindergarten, but I did.
You're
And I
not
don't remember what
alone.
that was for. But I do remember some of them. Now I did grow up on a farm, and so I guess you could say that you can't take the country out of the boy. So when I'm in kindergarten, we're going to load the buses to go home, and well, I gotta pee, so I go to the front of the bus where nobody's at, and I start peeing. Hey, that's what we did growing up, right? I mean, you just go over
Yep.
there where nobody's at, and you pee.
Yep. You tell your mom if you outside and you have to pee. She's like, "Hey,
Oh,
there's a bush over there. Go to
okay.
town."
So just for clarification, you're talking about like not inside the front of the bus, like outside, right?
Come on now, I'm not that country.
He's like, "I got
Yeah,
off the bus."
in front of the bus,
Okay,
kind of on the corner away from everybody else.
gotcha.
The next thing I know is I'm getting pulled into the principal's office, and I'm sitting there, and I have no idea I've done anything wrong. Well, then my parents show up, and anyway, what I remember of it is the principal and my parents are just dying laughing. Like she's telling them what I did, and they're all just laughing. And I didn't get in trouble per se for that, but I'm sure not many people have that story that they got in trouble for peeing in front of the bus in school. um, Another grade, a some Boy Scout told on me for cussing. I think that was third grade.
Third grade.
I
How?
learned I learned I learned some new words, right? So I take them to school and I'm telling my buddies, and one of my buddies told on me. What about bro code?
Man, what? I don't know. Let me interject real quick, real here as well. Tell y'all a story. Uh, Talking about getting paddlings every year. When I was growing up, my mom and daddy believed in spankings, and God knows I was a little hellion. I got my ass beat so many times it wasn't even funny. It was so bad that my mom made it an every year while I was in public school. She would go to school the first day, and before she left, she would go to the office and she would ask, "Where's the piece of paper I need to sign to make it okay for you to spank my son?" Like she made sure that that piece of paper was signed. And then in the house I grew up in, maybe y'all experienced this too. If they found out I got spanked at school, I got spanked again at home for getting spanked at school and doing something bad. So I knew that if I got spanked in school, I was getting spanked again when I got home. So
Absolutely. That's a good point. I'm glad you said that. I remember one of the paddlings. It might have been the one in kindergarten. They called my dad. My dad was working on the farm, and they got a hold of him somehow. I guess maybe it was around lunch or something. Anyway, they called and they said, Mr. Calvert, your son did such and such, and we want your permission to paddle him. And I could hear my dad through the phone, and he says, "Don't you ever call me again about paddling him. Y'all wear his ass out, and when he gets home, I'm gonna wear his ass out." And I remember sitting there thinking, "Ah, thanks, Dad." That was
you
great.
know what I
I'll never
did?
forget that. That was fantastic. Another
Man.
grade, I think this was second grade. Me and my best friend were in the bathroom and we were just messing around, like pushing each other and just boy stuff. And somebody went and tattled on us. Both of us got a paddling. So that one I'm saying is not my fault.
Don't
And really, I think both of those aren't my
No,
fault.
I think you're in the
Just
good.
one, because I got snitched on both times.
Yeah, I think you're in the good.
I remember in middle school, another buddy of mine was in line behind me at the lunchroom, and he we had to put our code in. Did y'all have a code you had to put in as you got further up in school? You had like a little keypad, and you had like a four or 5 digit number.
Yeah,
You had to
I
put
think
in for
to
your
start off with, we had a 4-digit number that we would have to vocally relay to the lunch lady, and then as the years went on, they eventually started with the keypad. So I'm familiar with it.
Yeah. So we had that when I got into middle school. And so I'm trying to punch in my number and my buddy is behind me and I get, start punching in and he just punches a random number. And I don't know if I was having a bad day or what, but it just flew all over me. And I took the high road, instead of punching him in the face, I grabbed his chocolate milk that's on his tray and I just squeeze it and chocolate milk goes everywhere. It goes all over him, it goes all over me, and it goes all over the computer.
Oh,
Oh man,
So I went directly to the table and ate as much as I could before the principal come and got me. And I got paddling for that one. We also had break duty in middle school. Did y'all ever have break duty?
no, I didn't.
Well, break duty is if you did something and it wasn't where you could get a paddling or detention. It was just kind of like you're in trouble. They called it break duty, and where everyone else got to go to break and drink a Coke and eat a candy bar, you had to go sweep the floors in school. You didn't get a break. So there was a locker right beside mine. This was like 7th grade. And there was a locker beside mine, and there was nobody was in it the whole year. So I would wear a jacket to school. And of course, I'm hot natured, y'all know that. And when I get to school, I take it off and I'm like, well, I'm gonna put it in my locker. I'll put it in this locker. Put it in an empty locker beside me. Of course, when I go home, I forget the jacket. So the next day I do the same thing. Before you know it, I've got a ton of clothes in that locker. Well, the principal comes in there one day and he says, Cody, come here. So I went out there and he said, do you know whose locker this is? And he said, this is your locker, right? And I said, yeah. And he said, well, do you know who's putting all these clothes in this locker? It's right beside yours. It's like, do you know who it is? And I was like, that's me. And he's like, he just goes crazy. It makes him furious for whatever reason. And he's like, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a day's break duty for every piece of clothing that's in this locker. I had 2 weeks. I had 10 jackets in there, or
Yo,
Whatever. Got
Uh,
2 weeks of
probably
break
kept you
days.
from hoarding. You're not a hoarder now because of it.
That is true. That is true. And maybe that's the reason I never wear a jacket. Like
I
it's a
don't want
mental
to.
thing now. I don't want to get in trouble. I'll leave it, right?
Hey, I
And
I
then
leave my umbrellas everywhere, and then I don't have them when I need them.
the last good one I could think of was, and this is completely not my fault. We had right after our graduation exam, um, the high school I went to, they would give like a treat for everybody for taking your graduation exams in high school. And usually what that meant was everybody go to the gym and they would watch a movie. Like it would show some kind of movie and everybody would watch it. Well, my German teacher told me that if I didn't want to go, I didn't have to. I could stay in there and just help her grade papers or whatever. That's okay. So I stayed in there. Well, they come up. The office comes over the intercom. It says, Miss Brown, is Cody Calvert in there? And she said, yeah. And she said, well, will you send Cody to the gym and to tell so and so their mom's here to get them? And she said, yeah. So I go to the gym and I find the guy and I tell him his mom's there. Well, I'm headed back to the classroom, and this really mean old teacher like intercepts me, right? And she says, what are you doing? You need to be back at the gym. And I'm like, well, the office told me to come get so and so, and she's like, no, 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 no. You're supposed to be in the gym. And so she's like, well, let's go to the office and straighten this out. So she's dragging me by my arm to the office, and we passed the classroom that I'm in, right? So I go to open the door, and I'm like, well, if I can get Miss Brown to straighten the situation out, right? I'll just save me walking 200 yards more to the office. Well, I go to open the door, she slaps my hand and like drags me. And so we get to the office, and she tells the people in the office that I have backtalked her. And I don't know, maybe I did. I don't know. But anyway, she leaves, and the principal, which was my best friend's, one of my best friend's mom, is the principal. Like, she absolutely loved me, and I loved her too. But she's like, Cody, I know you don't deserve this paddling, but I got to give you a paddling. I was like, you damn right I don't deserve it. I did exactly what y'all told me to do. And she said, I know, but I'm going to paddle you. It's like, all right then. No. Oh man, I mean, I had so many of those though. It was, I don't know. I came numb to them, I guess.
I think
I'm not proud of that. It's just like I feel like I'm a good guy and a good kid, but I found myself in trouble a lot.
Hey,
I was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
man, look, I used to scream and stand on tables. I remember if I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was very, very young, and whether you think that's a real thing or not, I don't know. I'm not here to judge. I don't know if I've still got it, had it, whatever. I do know I was one rambunctious little hellion, and I can tell you 98% of the paddlings I got in school were well deserved. Like, I was not a good kid out in public a lot of times. I did a lot of bad things.
Well, I'll tell you, I feel I was fortunate because when I was in Louisiana, I went to a Catholic private school. And surprisingly enough, stitches get snitches.
Or the other way around.
Yeah, that's it. Stitches get stitches was a big thing with the nuns. They did not think that anyone should be tattletaling. They told them, hey, you will get in trouble for snitching on somebody else. I don't care if they did it or not. I was like, what's the worst they can do, right? So I remember I went to first grade there, and I was told I'm a little kid. I mean, he was eating glue, whatever, shouldn't be doing it. But I went to go tell, hey, this might be a safety hazard. Of course, that wasn't my mindset as a first grader. I was all like, maybe he should be eating glue. I should tell somebody. But since I was the snitch, they were like, well, you know the deal. So they gave me a paddling, and then they put a raccoon tail on me. They hooked it onto my belt loop because I was a tattletale. Get it? Tattletale, the tail. So I was like, this is completely outrageous. This is way over the line for me telling you that that kid's gonna kill himself eating glue. I think maybe I should get an award, like a medal, not a paddling and a raccoon tail. I don't
So you look like the sidekick to Sonic the Hedgehog, right?
That's
Yeah.
it. I mean, I spent all day spinning it around.
All right.
That's great.
Well, there's something else I wanted to touch on this week. Cody, you've got a side job that you do on Thursday, Friday night sometimes, and you're a referee for football games, and so I wanted to take a look at this video that we've got right here. And for y'all that don't know, the things got a little heated. Things got a little heated in the swamp the couple nights ago.
That's a swamp ass down there.
So two things I want you to look at. I'm going to show this video. I found a short clip because a lot of them were long and drug out and had other announcers' commentary on it, and I didn't feel like clipping that out myself. So I found a short little video. After we watched this 1 minute video, Cody, as a referee and a personal opinion, so two from you, I want to know, was this hit late? And number two, what could I'll tell you preemptively, I think there was a lot of overreaction going on. I come from a hockey background. I grew up loving hockey. And fighting is a thing in hockey. It's there for a reason. Over hundreds of years, they've discovered fighting is there in hockey for a reason. But you get a 5-minute penalty, you cool down. There's a bro code of hockey fighting. When that person falls down, fight's over, you get up, you walk away, you do your 5 minutes. Based on the severity of the fight, you both get game misconducts. If you don't listen to the referees, it's over with.
We should implement it in football.
That's hockey. This football fighting is illegal. It always has been. Let's just get to this video. I want your opinion on what you think could have been done differently, what could have been handled differently in this fight, and as you as a referee think that this was a late hit. Oh, shoot. Let's there we go.
But what I will say, I don't know how it is in college, but in high school, if you have a brawl like that, well, let me back up. If you have people fighting, you try to stop the situation, right? If you can. If it's out of hand, or if you feel like you're in danger, you just if it's one or two people, it's usually not a big deal, right? You just go over and get between them and then it's over. But if you got a bunch of people, you try your best to break it up, but at some point you just have to back up and say, whoa, and you just start writing down numbers, and everybody that's involved, they're getting tossed. Anybody that comes off the bench is gone. It's a nightmare, really. We had a situation here locally where I live several years ago, like 10 years ago or something. But they had the same thing. It was after the game, and they just had a big brawl out at midfield. So it's but luckily the referee, it was after the game, so the refs just left, right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
hey, our our job's done, right? We're going home. Y'all have fun with that.
Right. And
Normally on a late hit like that, what you look for is did he have an opportunity to not hit him? Like I said, I haven't seen that video yet of him getting hit, but that's normally what you look at. If he's a step away and he throws the ball, other than him hitting him up top with the helmet, That's football. But if
Right.
he takes 2 or 3 steps or even accelerates coming in there, yeah, that's definitely a late hit.
That's
I
what
would
I
say
was
I
saying.
don't think the contact, based on what I saw, could have been avoided, but I do think the acceleration portion might come into play because when I watched it, it seemed like there was 2 or 3 steps he could have slowed down, veered to the side, something of that nature. He came in full force with that shoulder, full force. So I do think it was a dirty play. Unfortunately, because of how everything went down with it turning in the second half and all that, it probably wasn't much anyone could do. But I know since both teams were heavily involved and there were several players on both sides who threw punches, it's probably going to hurt Florida next week when they play Georgia.
Yeah, that's one thing I was seeing. I was watching. I forget which show it is, but it's the show that I think it's Chiswick's on. And I can't remember the other announcers' names, but they were talking. They were getting into it, like how do you handle that situation if you try to punish everybody that was involved? Neither team's going to have enough players to play next week's game. I mean, so how do you draw that line? Cody, you said the video was choppy. If you go back and watch it later, one of the Mizzou players that was actually like throwing like full on haymakers. If you look closely, he's not even hitting a Florida player. He's hitting a coach that was in there. Like he was hitting somebody that was unprotected. And I think ones like him, that's where, like they were discussing, the office here in Birmingham has to get on and say, that was 4 punches to an unprotected man. You knew what you were doing. You're not playing next week, maybe 2 games. I mean, you knew who you were hitting. That wasn't in the moment. That was 4 punches to an unprotected man.
Yeah, this is stuff you never want to see. You know, this is where emotions they go overboard, and this is you don't want to see this in football, and especially on TV, primetime game. That's bad. Looks bad on both schools, both programs.
All right. Well, we'll move on from that and on to some happier news for some people, some not so happy news for some other people.
And I'll go ahead and say this: congratulations to Cody above, the Auburn fan. It was a win, and I highly appreciate the sympathy text you sent me. Oh man. I highly appreciate the sympathy text you sent me, letting me know that deep path was uncalled for because y'all had the lead way big. I thought that was ridiculous too. It is what it is. We got mollywopped. It was a very, very, very pathetic performance. I'm ashamed. Coach Oderon has expressed, I'm very ashamed of this football team right now. It is what it is. But that being said, the juicy part of the business is that bet that was mentioned on the podcast last week, episode 0. I had a bet with a coworker. The winner got to shave the loser's face in any design that he so chose. And the winning design going into this beard, I don't know if anybody's heard, but the show Community has a character named Starburns. That's right. That good-looking look right there is going to be on my face for 2 weeks because I lost that bet. Auburn really took it to us. I mean, it was a real beef bust scenario. I mean, it was bad. But yep. So starting the 16th of November, Starburns will be my name for 2 weeks. And I am not overly excited. The wife is not overly excited. I'm actually going to be kicked out of the house for 2 weeks. I'm not allowed in the house with that. So if anybody needs a roommate, she is offering me out.
All right. And real quick before
that's great. What a
He thought real hard about what he was going to do if he won, and I think that's a winning design right there. I hate to say it. I'm not going to enjoy it, but
kudos to that guy. That's a great look.
Good old Starburns.
That's a great look.
We got Steven, we got Reactive Raichu in the chat wants to know how old is Coach O's girlfriend, and how did
Oh man. I'll tell you this: if he's not getting in trouble, she doesn't go to the school there, so she's old enough. I don't know. As an LSU fan, I'm gonna leave his personal life to him. But if he is dating her and has relations, I would make it very safe to assume that she does not attend the campus and she's probably in her upper 20s, mid 30s. That's what I'm shooting for. Don't know. But hey, it's Ed O with that accent. How can you turn him down, you know?
No, I haven't seen her, so I take it she's attractive, and that's what prompted the question.
Yeah, I think so.
Very, very attractive.
And I'll tell you this. I mean, can you imagine Coach O spitting game? I mean, hey, Mama, you want to come over to my house for some drink later?
All right. Well, other than those two things,
We're gonna have to do a show where it's nothing but impersonations.
yeah, we'll see how that goes. We'll move on. There wasn't a ton of excitement in the SEC this weekend. Alabama blew out Mississippi State. I don't know who wasn't expecting that, but so we'll go.
How bad is Mike Leach's offense?
Man,
no. LSU got to witness it firsthand. It's a pretty stellar offense.
Yeah, how bad is LSU? I mean, they put what 40,
41.
41?
Yeah. It was a shutout too.
Mississippi State. What did they put on LSU?
Too many. It was in the 40s. It was in the 40s.
And I mean, 0 on Alabama. Does that mean Alabama's going to win like 90-0 against LSU?
We'll find out in 2 weeks.
Oh my God, 90. That hurts my feelings to even think about. But I tell you what, if I had to compare LSU's defense right now, hey, and I need y'all to know, LSU fan at heart, I will never not love my team, love them to death. But if I had to compare LSU's defense to an animated character right now, it would be Forky from the Toy Story. Because, hi, I'm trash. Is pretty much the slogan right now. I mean, it is awful.
All right. Well, like I said, that's about all the exciting stuff in the SEC. We're going to get some more exciting games in a few coming weeks, so I'm sure we'll have a little more to talk about that. Moving on to the next section, I know Steven's pretty excited about something that has just started back up recently, and he wants to give us a quick spill on that.
Speaking of the opposite of trash, The Mandalorian Season 2 just dropped. And no spoilers, it's an incredible show. If you haven't watched the first season, you need to go watch it. I mean, I personally, there's a lot of people saying that The Mandalorian is the best of the Star Wars world. And it's really just a sideshow. A lot of people are saying that. Take it for how you want. I think it's an incredible show. There's a lot more to go for best talk, but out of one season and one episode starting season 2, it's incredible. And for you diehard Star Wars fans out there, the original Boba Fett, this isn't new news, so I don't know if this is a spoiler. I apologize if it is to you, but the producer said that the original character for Boba Fett is supposed to make an appearance. When, how, where? The first episode dropped on Friday. I've seen it. It's incredible. Lots of action. If you're not into Star Wars that much, don't think of it as Star Wars. Think of it more as an assassin show, because the Mandalorians are assassins, so to speak. They're just skilled fighters, and it's an amazing show. Highly recommend it. Mandalorian Season 2 just kicked. Check it out.
And how can you go wrong with Baby Yoda?
He's pretty epic. He's all over the place right now. Even if you don't like Star Wars, you've seen him. I know it.
All right, so we're gonna start what is sure to be a regular on the podcast, and it's a rant session made popular in Family Guy. So we're not gonna completely steal their slogan, but what are we calling this, Steven?
What burns my biscuits?
All right.
I feel it's appropriate.
Worse than a burnt biscuit.
What burns my biscuits?
And you know what? I'll go ahead and kick it off because speaking of burnt biscuits, we'll go to a place that serves biscuits. And I had this story last week. It happened to me actually on the day of episode 0, and I was so mad that I held it in. Like I didn't. What burns my biscuits is not only going through a fast food drive-through and having to pull up and wait on your order, which I completely understand if they're busy, if you order something that's not made that often. I get that. But they usually bring your food out in like 2 minutes because they're fast food and you know you're eating trash and it took them 30 seconds to throw it on the fry later, another 30 seconds to assemble it, wrap it up, and toss it in the bag and bring it to you. I went to a Popeye's Chicken that is approximately 3 minutes from my house. And when I tell you I will never go back to that location ever again, I drove through, I was coming home from work, and my wife was not home yet, and I was not in the mood to do my own cooking. I was passing Popeyes. I'm like, Popeyes sounds good. So I just got me the chicken finger meal. The chicken finger meal. That's it. They're like, okay, my receipt is time-stamped for 4:08 p.m., and they tell me to go pull in this first parking spot, and they're going to bring me my food. Cool, it's happened before. There's nobody behind me. There was only one car in front of me. They're not busy. This ain't going to take long. 20 cars later that pulled in after me, and 30 minutes later at 4:37, after I've had to go through the door twice, I get my food. I don't care if you still had the chicken fingers frozen in the very back of the freezer. It does not take 30 minutes to toss those things in the fry later and bring me 5 chicken fingers, because I know your french fries were already ready, and I know your biscuits were already ready because you're freaking Popeyes. You've got biscuits ready. That means it took you 30 minutes to figure out how to make 5 chicken fingers. That's
You're telling me you had trouble getting chicken at a place that specializes
in chicken. 5 chicken fingers.
What?
Five chicken fingers. 5 chicken fingers took 30 minutes.
Well, to add on to the frustrations, the number one thing right now that I actively encounter in my life on a daily basis is driving slow in the fast lane. And I don't know who out there thinks that it's rude to flash the lights, but it's really just a signal. There's no way to signal for the cars in front of you but to flash. So, not trying to be rude, but if I'm behind you, I'm going to give a little flash. Hey, there's no one in your right lane. Go ahead and get over. But if you are doing, Lord help me, baby Jesus in his tuxedo shirt, if you are doing under 70 in the fast lane, please be courteous. Oh my God, it really burns my biscuits.
Look, I'll go a little bit above you. I will keep my frustration in check if they are at least doing the speed limit in the fast lane and still passing cars in the middle lane. Cool, you're meeting all the criteria for me to not get mad. But if the speed limit is 65 or 70 and you're doing 55 and the middle lane is just flying past us like we're sitting still, man, I have anger issues, and that does not help at all. Because then by that time, I can't even get in the middle lane to get over you. Left lane's for passing. If you're not passing anybody, get the hell over.
What about when you're doing like 85 and you got somebody up your butt and you're in the left-hand lane? That drives me crazy. I'm like, I'm doing 85. I mean,
but see, I'm not I don't like being a hypocrite either. It does aggravate me a little bit, but if the middle lane is open, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. If they're riding my ass, even if I'm doing 80, 85, I will get over, let them pass, and get back over. I'm not going to be a hypocrite.
Just to follow up with that, I 100%, I will be agitated if I'm doing way over the speed limit in the fast lane and somebody rolls up on me like they're crazy. But I still feel I'm in the wrong if there's nobody to the right of me and they have to wait for me. Even though if I'm doing 20 over, 15, whatever it may be, I feel I'm still in the wrong. I'm agitated, but I should not be in the fast lane if I have room in the right lane.
So do y'all find yourselves, if someone goes to pass you in the middle lane, if you're in the left lane, do you find yourself, like, if there's a vehicle on up there in the middle lane, So it's a situation where that car that's passing you, they got to get around you quickly because they got to get over, or that vehicle up there is going to slow them down. You find yourself speeding up, like, I'm not gonna let you pass me.
Oh,
Like, I'm gonna be a dick. I do it all the time. I love
oh
it.
yeah,
Like,
and it's for me.
get furious.
It's not even always speeding up. Like I'll see them try to get around me, and then they have to put on their brakes and get back behind me, and then they'll try it again, and I'm like, I would not be in the left-hand lane if the middle lane was faster. What are you doing? I
Yeah.
mean, if I was, I'm a good driver. I know you don't know me from Adam, but I'm a good driver. If I could get over and let you by without slowing myself down, that's what we would be doing.
Exactly.
But I'm not going to slow.
I might go 5 miles an hour faster than I was going.
Just a little bit there.
Yeah,
And
just enough to push the issue.
I got at least one more thing I could do this week for the what burns my biscuits. So I live in a subdivision with HOA dues and all this other stuff. So the regulations are, don't put your trash cans out front, keep them in the back so the neighborhood looks clean. Certain regulations with the bushes, how you're supposed to keep them so the neighborhood is kept well. So that being said, I'm a runner, so typically the sidewalk is for. I think everybody can answer the question. The sidewalk is for walking. So there is at least 5 people in my neighborhood that when trash day comes on Monday, they put their trash cans out in the street to get emptied and then drag their trash can like 2 feet back and put it on the sidewalk. I'm like, yo, it's even against HOA to do this. Why can't y'all be courteous and we have kids all over the neighborhood. So if somebody's kid gets hit by a car because they can't walk on the sidewalk because the stupid trash can's in the way, I just want to kick that thing over and put their trash in the front yard. It's frustrating.
Right.
It burns my biscuits.
All right, Cody, we are coming up on the 40-minute mark, so I know we're getting close to wanting to wrap this episode up, but was there anything else you wanted to add to that? Any other rants you got going on?
Yeah, I got one that this is my biggest pet peeve. This is back to driving. So if you've got a 5-lane road, you got 2 lanes on each side, and you got a turning lane in the middle. That is a turning lane. That is not a merging lane.
Yes, you're right.
This drives me absolutely insane. And I'll tell you what. I'll tell you a story, a real quick story on this. So the road that I live on is a small street, and it goes out on it comes out onto a 5-lane highway. And so I'm coming home from work, and there's my street's here, and then like I don't know 100 yards up I turn left to go home, and about 100 yards up on the right is another road that comes out onto this highway. So I'm headed home, and I see this car pull out, and they get into the turning lane, and they're speeding up. They're trying to merge, and I get in the turning lane to turn onto my road. So now we're both stopped, and we're just staring at each other.
Oh.
Like he's blocking me. I can't get to my road, and I'm in his way because he can't speed up now. And we're just staring at each other, and I'm just giving it to him.
Right.
Giving him the business.
Well, I'll say this: is it not against the law? Because I know you can use it to get onto the street, but you should not be driving on it. There's like a unknown set like 20 yards, but you should be on the street. You should not drive on and speed up to merge on. If you need to get out of a heavy intersection, you turn onto the middle lane and you hang tight until a gap comes and you can get in. Right?
I've done that.
Yeah, you can. I mean,
as long as
you're
driving,
we've all done it. I've done it, but there's people that do it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. I'll be with my wife, and she'll see it happen, and my wife just goes, "Oh no, oh no." And I go. I'm just like, I'm driving by, I'm just giving it to him, and I go by. Oh, it makes me so mad, especially the day, like I told y'all, when we were standing there staring at each other, and I can't get home because this guy's in my way. Okay, I'm gonna calm down.
Yeah, it's horrible. I feel you on that. All right. I think.
Well, I do have. I
Go
would
ahead.
like to give a shout out. Um, I don't know who all has heard the news. I don't know who all's a fan. Some of the younger generation might not know him as well.
That's right.
It was the old Daniel Craig, if that gives any hints. But in our opinion, the three of us believe Sean Connery was the best James Bond of all time. He passed away at the age of 90. Very sad. Fantastic actor. From what I hear from news, never met the guy, of course, but a genuinely good person. So it's sad to hear of his passing. But you know, if you are a James Bond fan at all and you haven't heard of the older movies with Sean Connery in it, go check him out. It's worth it. He is smooth, debonair,
Absolutely.
everything James Bond should be. He passed away. Just do it as a tribute. Go check him out.
Absolutely. He also did a few Tom Clancy movies as well. Check out like Hunt for Red October. I think he's one of the few people that one of the few actors that it's harder to find a bad movie that he did than to try and name all his good ones. It's harder to find a bad one.
What was the one he did? One of his last movies, or not last movies, some of the later stuff he did in his career, where they had all the superheroes.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yes.
Yes, I own that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, that was.
I enjoyed
All right, everybody. If you were here in chat, we appreciate you stopping by. If you watch this on YouTube, make sure you please hit that little red button, hit that subscribe, turn on notifications if you want to know as soon as we upload these. I know these two episodes is technically in the same week. Episode 0 was just to meet us, get to see us. It will be a weekly podcast from here on out. We will be recording on Sundays. You can check that out. And then we will be uploading every Sunday night. We are still working. I'm still working on getting the audio stripped from these episodes so that if video's not your thing, we will be uploading to. We will be working on getting audio versions for both iTunes and Spotify. So keep your eyes out for that too, and we'll let you know when any of that goes live. You can follow the podcast on Twitter at Talks for the PPL. You can find me and Cody on Twitter at Cody Calvert at RTR Allen, and both me and Steven stream on Twitch. Twitch.tv/RTR Allen is where we are currently airing this live. So if you want to see any of my mediocre video gameplay, you can go ahead and hit follow on that, or make sure you head over there. Steven's is twitch.tv/God26 with 2 Ds. Until next time, we appreciate y'all watching. Help us spread the word, share it, like it, favorite it, just plaster it everywhere. Let's see how quickly we can get these follows up. Right now, 1,000's our goal.
Yep. Tune in next week. Cody showed his younger life experiences. Next week, my first serious babysitting experience. Probably a story y'all won't want to miss, along with some other various topics. And if y'all continue to tune in, like it, subscribe it. When we get up there, we promise y'all a video, if we have enough subscribes, to post the shaving of Starburns. So something to look forward to. We will live video that, upload it, so you can see just the event of us massacring this gorgeous beard. But thanks for tuning in to Talk to the People.
Absolutely.
Thanks everybody for the support. We really appreciate it. It means a lot. We had a lot of great feedback last week. So thanks for tuning in.
Thanks again.
Peace out.
Peace out.